So UFC 217 just ended. Posting my reaction, and let me tell you, this event it exceeded the expectations. I mean, there were so many good fights, so many good moments, so many bad moments, so many horrifying moments, and you'll see. But I mean, let's just start with the first fight on the card. I mean, this is what I like to call the stinker of the card. Denise, he wins, but it was a pretty shitty performance. Both of them were gassed. Alvin Hines, had way more success than he should have. Honestly, I think Denise is very trash and he sucks, and a lot of these heavyweights suck. Nothing else. Jacoby Smith versus Nico Price, very impressive submission win, but a lot of people were expecting him to knock out someone like Nico Price because Jacoby Smith can knock out people. But with the odds, it did seem pretty competitive. But Smith was destroying him still. It wasn't really a close fight. So I think it was an impressive win. I mean, if you bet by submission, you probably would have got a lot of money out of that. But minus 2,100. So you wouldn't think that this would go past the first round. And if you're wondering why I'm super tired, it's 3 a.m. So next we got Terrence McKinney, Vaclav Borshev, impressive submission win. I mean, he just went straight for the takedown. He got the submission, and I don't know, Borshev, he couldn't really do much after the guillotine was locked in, so that was all. And then Tracy Cortez, dominant win against Arujo, and I mean, Tracy Cortez is good. She's good. I mean, she's good for a flyweight. I think Arujo's a decent opponent, and Tracy Cortez made her look shit. And I do think there's probably higher hopes for her. Maybe she can get a top 5 matchup, considering her only loss is to Rose Namajunas, UFC. So we'll see. Next, what I like to call the one of the picks that went horribly wrong. I picked Hyder Emil. I picked Delgado. In the video I picked Delgado, but I later picked Hyder Emil. I changed my mind because I thought Hyder Emil might be fraud checking this guy, but nope. Delgado. I got it right the first time before I changed my mind. I got it right. I thought Delgado, Delgado just came in there. He just put the pressure on Hyder Emil and just knocked him out. He just has good power, and it's an impressive win. I think Delgado has a lot of future, has a big future in this company. Next, we got Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. This is what I like to call that Miocic versus Ngannou 2 type knockout. Yeah, Rodriguez is pretty good. I think he had a smart fight plan, being slow, being kind of, tempered. And I think it worked out well. I think in the Jared Cannonier fight, he was trying to take off his head so much that it eventually just led to him just gassing out. And I think that was the wrong game plan to have. And he had a smarter game plan here. And then he was just trying to find that shot. And he found it. And Hermanson got slept. Great win for Gregory Rodriguez. I think a win over Hermanson should probably get him back in the top 15. I think Rodriguez can fight someone in the top 15. Maybe, I don't know, somebody. Maybe Vittori later. Oh man, I'm tired. Next, I got the main card. Peyton Talbot gets a very impressive win against Felipe Lima. Honestly, I chose Felipe Lima because I thought he would be a tougher fight than Raoni Barcelos. I thought Felipe Lima would dominate him on the ground, but no, Peyton Talbot showed the improvements in the takedown defense, in the BJJ, in the scrambling, and man, he showed a really different level. I think Peyton Talbot kind of proved that he can still be good. He's still a good prospect, and I think that Raoni Barcelos loss did kind of hurt his aura and his invincibility of being this undefeated guy. But now he's 10-1, and he has an impressive win against a dangerous prospect too in Felipe Lima. So I think it was definitely a very good win. I'd love to see Peyton Talbot kind of climb up those ranks, kind of get these fights more, because I think he's definitely a very promising prospect, and he has the personality, he has the uniqueness that makes him so popular. So yeah, go Talbot. I picked against him, but I'm probably not going to pick up against him next time. Next, Beneil Dariush comes back with a very impressive win against Moicano. Moicano had a very good First round, dropped him, almost TKO'd him, and second round, third round, Beneil Dariush just took over with the wrestling, just gassed out Moicano, and Moicano couldn't do much. He was so gassed, his arms were like exhausted. He couldn't do much after that, and Beneil Dariush was able to get a dominant win against Moicano. Um, if I were to match up who I think Beneil should fight next, I'm gonna be real. I don't know who he should fight next. Maybe I don't know. He said this all should be his last fight. I really wish this was his last fight. He should retire on a win against Moicano. He should retire. Moicano should probably fight someone like maybe like a Ruffy. A Ruffy wouldn't be bad, but I think they're friends, so they wanted. So maybe I don't know. Is Joe Alvarez still a 155er? Maybe Joe Alvarez. Why not? Next, we got the feature of the bout, and the fight of the night. Fight of the night right here. Joshua Van versus Brandon Morvell. This was so good. I love this fight. This is one of the best fights I've seen in a while. I chose Joshua Van to win this fight, and everything I said came true. I thought he would counter Brandon Royval effectively, land the better shots, give Royval some trouble when he's entering in, and it was definitely true. Although Royval has some good boxing, he relies so much on having these pitter patter shots that distract opponents, keep them guessing. But Joshua Van was beyond that. He just took them and he just countered back and landed some hard shots. Had dropped Brandon Royval at the end of round 3, almost TKO'd him. Royval's a tough motherfucker, and Joshua Van proved he can be elite in this division. I think Joshua Van proved, and this is 3 weeks' notice, by the way. So, man, Joshua Van is not going to be the number 1 contender. I'm glad for that. I like Joshua Van. I think he should fight for the title, obviously. So, next we got another dominant performance. Alexandra Pantoja going against Kaiko France, a guy he already beat, but it was 9 years ago. It was a rematch that a lot of people were asking for. We finally got it, and Pantoja showed levels, dominated him the whole fight, and man, it looked like Kaiko France didn't know what he was doing sometimes. And Pantoja, he got that body triangle in round 3, and it just submitted him. It was over from there. Man, it was a dominant performance, dominant fight. I don't know what else to say about it, man. It was such a good fight for Pantoja. I really would love to see Pantoja versus Van. That's the next fight to make. This would be such an exciting fight for flyweight. I like how Pantoja and Van are now these stars, and they're getting more popular and having these fun fights that are entertaining. I think the flyweight division is honestly in its peak right now. I think it's getting better and better as it goes on. We're having these talented guys make these entertaining fights, and I think flyweight's one of the best, most underappreciated and the best divisions right now. And I think Pantoja should be in the top 5 for pound. He has 4 title defenses, but he's number 9. That is just bullshit. He should be number 4. Number 4 or number 3. There's just no in between. He should not be this low on the pound-for-pound list. That's just crazy disrespect. 4 defenses against 4 quality opponents. Not even like cans or anything. They're good opponents. What? Who else? 4 defenses. I think that's the second most amount of defenses in flyweight history. So, who else? Joshua Van. If he beats Joshua Van, 5 defenses against the best flyweights yet, it should put him in conversation for flyweight GOAT. Next, what we like to call the worst day of my life. Ilia Topuria has done it again. He has done it again, bro. Ilia Topuria, he just has his aura around him. He knows what he's going to do in the fight. He says he knows what he's going to do in the fight. He says what he's going to do in the fight. And he does it. He said he was going to knock out Charles Oliveira in the first round. Charles Oliveira was going to walk towards him, and he's going to find that shot and hit him, and Charles Oliveira was going to go cold. And that is exactly what happened. Charles Oliveira, he put the pace on Ilia. Almost got him in a few good submissions with the leg locks and stuff like that. He was doing really well putting the pressure with the knees and the elbows in the clinch, but it was clear Ilia had the power advantage and he was hurting Charles. He already cut Charles in the beginning of the fight, and it seemed that every hit that Ilia was landing on Charles was hurting him. And then Charles blitzed in, and then Ilya hit him with a right hook or left. He hit him with a right hook and then a left hook, and then just slept him. It was just brutal finish against a guy that everyone loves, including me. It was a brutal thing to see. My jaw dropped. It was just so surprising. I was shocked. It was just that good. And I think Ilya at this point has proven he can hang with the best. And not even hang with it, he can dominate the best. You look at it. Knocks out Volk, knocks out Holloway, knocks out Charles Oliveira. Who else? I mean, they trying to taste this fight with trying to make this fight with Patty. I don't think Patty has a chance. I think Patty gets slapped by Ilya easily. Make this fight with they're not giving the fight to Arman, who I think has the best chance to beat Ilia. And Islam, let's be real. He made the right decision leaving 155. If Islam fought this version of Ilia tonight, he would have lost badly. And at this point, who defeats Ilia? Nobody can. Nobody in 145 or 155. If Ilia goes up to 170, they probably have a chance. But even then, it's the lighter man's skill. They probably will still. Most welterweights would still probably lose to Ilia. Ilia is just so dangerous and so well rounded. He can do anything, and it's clear he showed that in the fight. Charles Oliveira was a tough opponent. He was a very decorated opponent, and people said they were going to give him his toughest fight, but Ilia made it look easy tonight. And what else is there? For Charles Oliveira, I don't know what else he can do. I mean, he's probably never going to get a title shot again, so I don't see what's the point of fighting, you know? Maybe he can fight Max Holloway for a BMF belt or something. But I think he should retire. I don't think Charles has any point trying to chase a title shot now. He's 35, about to be 36. And he's only getting older. He's a family time. I guess like father time is finally affecting him. And it's clear I don't know. I just can't see Charles lose like this. I don't want him to go on a big losing streak like Tony Ferguson, you know? And obviously he's only on a one fight losing streak, but and against Ilia was really good. For Ilia, I think the next opponent should be Arman. That is just the obvious choice. Arman Surugan is the number one contender. He deserves a shot more than Oliveira, in my opinion. And just because he missed weight once does not mean that you should just bar him from title shots like that. I don't know why we don't like him. I know he pulled out of a main event. He had a title shot. He pulled out last minute. It's kind of bad, but he made weight as a backup. I think you should still give him a chance. And Arman's been calling out Ilia. I think Ilia is going to have a tough fight with Arman because Arman is a good wrestler. He has a good chin, good boxing, and he's a big guy. He's a big, short, stocky guy. He's not a long guy like Oliveira, you know? He's a big, short, stocky guy, and he's going to give a tough fight to Ilia. Maybe Ilia still wins, but I think he's going to give a tough fight for Ilia. And he's a young guy as well. So I think Arman is the obvious choice for the contendership. I think Gaethje versus Patty for a title eliminator should be made, and whoever wins that fight would fight Ilia for the belt. And honestly, if he beats an Arman and maybe a Patty, I think he should just move up because at that point there's no other contender for him. So yeah, I mean, if Ilia can definitely have the chance to chase three weight world champion. You know, if he doesn't have to cut as much, so I think he's gonna be more active. I honestly could see him fighting one more time this year, maybe against Arman. I would love to see him fight Arman, but I know the UFC won't allow it. So maybe maybe Ilia versus Patty will be made, which sucks, but it's what's done is done. Apart from that devastating KO loss, this event was very good. I'd give this event honestly a 9 out of 10. It was just impressive from start to finish. Everything was great. There was only one bad fight on the card, and it was the beginning fight. Every other fight was pretty good. It was a very entertaining event, and I think it lived up to the International Fight Week, and it lived up to what makes UFC so great, having these entertaining fights and these mind-blowing finishes. We had so many finishes on this card. Glad that happened. Anyways, that'll be all. See you in the next one. Bye.